The first century opens with Rome in control of a vast empire, stretching from Spain to Syria and from Britain to Egypt. Augustus is emperor. He's not just any ruler, he ends the chaos of civil war, takes full control and creates the Roman Empire as we know it. He launches the Pax Romana, 200 years of peace, order and expansion. Roads, trade routes, cities and Roman law reaches across 3 continents. Augustus reforms the army, tax system and government, putting the empire on a stable foundation. After him come the Julio-Claudian emperors, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero. In 69 CE, the empire nearly collapses. 4 emperors rise and fall in 1 year. Civil war threatens everything. Then comes Vespasian, founder of the Flavian dynasty. He restores order, rebuilds Rome, and starts the Colosseum. His sons, Titus and Domitian, follow. Titus handles disasters like the eruption of Vesuvius and the destruction of Jerusalem's Second Temple. Domitian strengthens imperial power, but rules as a near-absolute monarch. By 100 CE, Rome is a superpower, with 1 million people in the capital, 70 million across the empire, and unmatched influence. Roads, law, architecture and Latin all spread from this century. This was Rome at its peak. Buddhism reaches China by the 1st century CE, likely through Central Asian traders. It faces early resistance, but begins to take root slowly, especially along the trade routes. In places like Gandhara, which is present-day northwestern Pakistan, Buddhism fuses with Greek artistic styles, producing the first human images of the Buddha in Greco-Buddhist art. The 1st century sets the foundation for Buddhism's future rise in China, Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asia. The statue here is considered the oldest and most famous Buddha statue in the world. The statue is thought to date back to around 2 or 3 CE. The Kushan Empire, based in what's now northern India and Afghanistan, plays a major role. Under Emperor Kanishka the Great, the Kushans promote Buddhism heavily, building stupas, sponsoring monks, and supporting translation efforts. Stupas are dome-shaped buildings which are symbolic representations of the Buddha's mind and the path to enlightenment, as well as places of worship and meditation. This is when Mahayana Buddhism begins to dominate, a more accessible, devotional form of Buddhism that focuses on compassion and bodhisattvas. A bodhisattva is a person who is able to reach nirvana, but delays doing so through compassion for suffering beings. In Buddhism, nirvana is the ultimate goal, representing a state of liberation from suffering and the cycle of rebirth. By the end of the century, Buddhism is no longer just Indian, it's a growing international religion with imperial backing, cross-cultural exchange, and regional adaptations. Around 4 BCE to 6 CE, Jesus of Nazareth is born in Roman-controlled Judea, a small province under heavy imperial rule and religious tension. Jesus preaches a radical message: love, forgiveness, humility, and the coming of the kingdom of God, challenging both Roman power and Jewish authorities. He gains a following, especially among the poor and marginalized, but also attracts opposition from religious elites. Around 30 to 33 CE, Jesus is crucified by the Romans, under the governorship of Pontius Pilate, likely for being perceived as a political threat. For Rome, it's just another execution, but for his followers, it becomes the foundation of a new belief that Jesus was the Messiah and had risen from the dead. This belief sparks the beginning of Christianity, first as a Jewish sect, then as a separate and rapidly growing faith. The message spreads fast, not by armies, but through missionary work, especially by Paul of Tarsus, who travels across the eastern Mediterranean, preaching to both Jews and Gentiles, Gentiles being non-Jews. Paul's letters, many written in the 50s CE, become key texts in the New Testament and help define early Christian theology. Christianity spreads through urban centers of the Roman Empire, places like Antioch, Corinth, Ephesus, and Rome, helped by Roman roads, common languages, and trade routes. Into the 1st century, Christianity is still illegal and persecuted, but it has spread across the empire, laying the foundation for one of the world's major religions. While Rome dominates the West, China is ruled by the Han Dynasty, one of the most powerful empires in the world at the time. After a brief interruption by the Jin Dynasty, ruled by Wang Mang from 9 to 23 CE, the Eastern Han is restored in 25 CE under Emperor Guangwu. This marks the revival and golden age of Han's rule, a strong central government, booming economy, and expanded borders. Under emperors like Ming and Zhang, the Han launched military campaigns into Central Asia to protect trade routes and push back nomadic threats. These campaigns secured the Silk Road, opening massive overland trade with Central Asia, Persia, and even the Roman Empire. The Han exports silk, lacquerware and ceramics, and import horses, glassware, and gold, making China a central hub in global trade. Diplomats like Gan Ying are sent west to explore the world beyond, possibly reaching as far as the Roman Emperor's eastern frontier. Culturally, this period sees the spread of Confucianism as state ideology, with civil service exams, moral education, and emphasis on hierarchy and order. Technological advances boom, papermaking begins, astronomy improves, and Chinese medicine develops rapidly. By the end of the 1st century CE, the Han Empire is stable, rich, and internationally connected, a true superpower of the ancient world, rivaled only by Rome.